You know someone who can't sit still, who downsizes their life to chase an idea, who drives a little too fast, bets on things the rest of you won't touch, and somehow, instead of being terrified, seems more alive than everyone else in the room. And you've probably wondered, in the quiet moments, why? Why do they love it? What do they feel that you don't? Here's the answer nobody gives you. It's not courage, it's not a death wish, and it's not bad judgment. It's a difference in chemistry your body and theirs likely both have, just tuned differently. And once you understand what's actually happening in a risk lover's brain, you'll never see it the same way again. Not as recklessness, not as bravery, but as a biological engine running on a different fuel than your own. Here's the first thing to understand. The brain has a natural reward chemical called dopamine, and everyone produces it. But here's what research has found. Some brains produce a bigger dopamine spike in response to anticipation than others. The rumble before the drop, the unknown just before the outcome. And for those people, that anticipation isn't scary, it's electric. It's the sun, and a whole body of science known as sensation-seeking theory, pioneered by psychologist Marvin Zuckerman, showed that people differ in how much stimulation they need to feel their baseline is good. Some people need a calm walk. Other people need a base jump. And neither one is choosing to be what they are. Their nervous system is asking for the level of input it was built to enjoy. Now here's the part that flips everything. The stereotype says risk lovers are impulsive and careless. But research says something much more interesting. What looks like a love of chaos is often a love of sensation, and the two are very different. A true sensation seeker isn't chasing danger. They're chasing a certain level of feeling. And the person who seeks danger is biologically wired to feel more alive when there's more at stake. That edginess isn't a bug. For them, it's the signal that they're actually here. When they step up to the edge, their body floods with a mix of chemicals. Dopamine, adrenaline, noradrenaline, that most people only get in rare moments, if at all. And their brain, which needs that spike, goes from flat to full. It feels like waking up. Now, hold on. Because this is where the myth dies. You'd think people who love risk are bad at weighing it. So no. There's a famous line in the psychology of thrills. Risk takers aren't people who count the cost wrong. They're people who count the reward differently. The reward isn't the money or the thrill itself. It's the feeling of being alive. So when a risk lover weighs a decision, they're not ignoring the downside. They're valuing the upside more. The spike, the aliveness, the certainty of having fully felt the moment. And by their own internal scale, that is a rational decision. It only looks crazy from a nervous system that can't feel what they feel. There's another layer that explains at least some of it, and it's a little more personal. Some people love risk, yes, because of chemistry, but some love it because risk is the only place they ever felt nothing, real. Think about a person whose everyday life feels flat, or gray, or numb, perhaps from depression, perhaps from the low-level alarm. For them, normal life is like radio static, and risk cuts through the static. The edge is the only volume loud enough to make them feel that they're actually here. It's a shock to the system that the system is craving, not because they want to hurt themselves, because flatness hurts more. And this is the uncomfortable truth. Some thrill-seeking isn't a love of life. It's a cry for the raw event of it. It's a person convinced, sometimes without making an image, that ordinary existence isn't enough, that they need to feel it to believe, that they meant on the edge. So what separates the risk lover who builds a great life from the one who burns it down? Two things. Third, the circuit between the risk and the reward. And second, whether the risk is directed. A risk that points somewhere. A career bet, a creative bet, a bet on a relationship or a skill builds a life. A risk that points nowhere. A need to feel a thing, with no direction, burns everything it touches. The difference is not the nerve. The difference is the aim. And here's the good news for the restless heart. You do not need a cliff. You need a certain dose of feeling, and you can get that dose in ways that build instead of destroy. Consider variety in the everyday, the new skill that genuinely challenges you, the venture that truly has something on the line. These are risk rewired. The person who invests heavily in a skill or an idea or a relationship they believe in is running the exact same engine. Dread, dopamine, taste for the unknown. but they are pointing it at a future instead of a wall. And they get the aliveness you're addicted to without the cliff. And here's the deeper answer to the riddle. The reason some people love risk has less to do with bravery and more to do with how the unknown feels to them. For most of us, the unknown reads as a threat, a thing to avoid. For the risk lover, the same unknown reads as a possibility, a space to learn and run to. It's not that they don't know danger exists. It's that in the moment, danger doesn't read to them as danger. It reads as alive. And that single shift in how their brain sorts the same event is the whole difference between someone who freezes and someone who goes. So the next time you watch the risk lover go over the edge, don't call them fearless. Don't call them broken either. They're neither. They're running an engine you don't share, differently wired, wanting more, reading the same leap as a doorway. And the only genuine risk isn't the one they're running toward. It's the one you're running from, the chance to trust that your list too has a reward, and that you get to choose what the edge means for you. If this explained the one you call the reckless one a little better, subscribe to MindToAct for more psychology that shows you why people are the way they are.